Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Country Boy Conversation. Have a special guest with us tonight, Mr. Brian Seech, right? Is it Seech?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Uh, I'll let him tell his bio there, and then let him roll into some UFO stuff. Nice for you to come on the show, Brian. I appreciate it.
Oh, hey, thanks a lot for inviting me. I think we're gonna have some fun tonight.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what it's about.
Yes, exactly. It's got to be about that, and also the research too. But you got to enjoy.
Yeah,
If you don't enjoy what you're doing, it's like work.
yeah,
We don't want to
yeah.
work.
We don't want to. Yeah, we don't want to work. That's it. That's for sure, ain't it? You want to tell everybody about yourself, Brian, and what you did over the years? What you
Oh,
guys.
yeah, sure. Well, basically, growing up in the '70s, I was always interested in UFOs, monsters, things like that. And
Yeah.
during the '70s was a big time for UFOs, for UFO magazines. That was the height of UFO magazines. Was like in the '70s. UFO
Hmm.
reports, Saga, things like that. And so I started reading those. I was interested. I watched what was it called, In Search of, Legend of Boggy Creek. This got me involved in UFOs and Bigfoot both. And
Yeah.
when I met my wife, we found out that she also had an interest in that. So we decided to form uh, our first organization, which we still have. It's called Q, Center for Unexplained Events. That was formed in '86, and we wanted a generic term. Okay, we
Yeah.
never wanted to say Pennsylvania Center for Unexplained Events because even back then we're like, well, what if we ever move out of state? We don't want to have that Pennsylvania logo, so we just have Center for Unexplained Events, and it
Yeah.
was to be a clearinghouse for all unexplained phenomena, whether it be like Bermuda Triangle, different creatures, ghosts, and we started to collect newspaper articles, books, magazines, and now we got a whole I don't want to say attic, a whole second floor here of all that stuff. And so uh, what we did in 2012, then we decided we felt we weren't getting the cryptid reports because we
Yeah.
felt Center for Unexplained Events was kind of a little too generic. So we're let's put cryptozoology in the title. So we made Center for Cryptozoological Studies in 2012, and it has helped. We have a cool little logo that we have now, and it's well known in Pennsylvania. Now we're trying to bring it here down to we're in West Virginia, which now, like I had talked to you before, is where we're at now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's been a blast. I mean, we've researched everything. Ghost research. My wife and I were both researchers in MUFON, and Mutual UFO Network, and she
Yeah.
was actually a state section director for a couple years too before we got out of it.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, we investigated some cases through them, and through ourselves too. We had several encounters we've had with UFOs, uh, which we again UFOs. I'm not saying extraterrestrials or anything. We just did not know, what they were. The ones that we saw in oh geez, I think it was '97. It
Uh
was
huh.
on Halloween night, and they were two triangular craft, and they went above Swickley, and they did like a kind of like a U-turn like this, and then they came over us. And I tell you what, they were silent. It was during a trick or treat because our son was there, and then we were
Mm.
my wife's parents, and all the kids were stopping and looking up at it, and we were
Oh
pointing.
wow.
Yeah, and we were told later on by a friend that we know that the local call center received over 200 calls that night of people seeing these triangles go
Oh
towards the
wow.
fire. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I should have got it ready for. I have a drawing here somewhere, but maybe the next time if I'm on, or
Yeah. Yeah. We'll definitely get you back again. Yeah.
okay. But so yeah, it's been fun. I mean, and like we talked to, you got to have fun when you're doing this. You got to enjoy. You got to have a passion for it. Um, because will we ever see answers in our lifetime? I mean, I
Yeah.
I I'm hopeful now because what we were talking about before, right before we got on,
Yeah.
was this is one of the most exciting times for UFOs now because of the
Oh
new
yeah.
all the new groups forming. Like NASA's going to research it too, and over they originally they have over 400 reports that they were looking into of unconventional aerial phenomenon, right? That
Yeah.
it exceeds what I should say what we believe we have, because some of these maneuvers right now, for what we know, we can't duplicate that. Now, again, I'm not saying we don't have that, because you know how this works,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. That's it. Yeah.
So, but it's just it's phenomenal. It's exciting. It's not, the kid in me wants to say, okay, it's got to be aliens. Come on, tell us about the aliens. So,
Right,
and I
right.
know you're laughing the same thing to you. It's like, come on, we
Yeah.
would love to see this.
Oh, everybody would, I think.
It, you know, a lot of I think what the government is basing not wanting to tell us, it's, yeah, national security, yes, but would it fundamentally destroy some religions and things like that? Hey, we're the only ones here. I don't believe that. I don't believe that now. Now, a lot of it's based on the World of Worlds. Remember that? I mean,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the 30s, the radio program, the Martians are coming and blah blah blah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think we're more sophisticated than that now. I don't think it would be this mass panic or chaos with
No, no.
everything
I
going
don't.
on.
I think you're right there. I don't think people would be running, and scared. But
Yeah, and shooting at water towers like they did in.
yeah, yeah. I think we're so used to it. I think we've seen. I mean, I've seen one. You guys have seen them. A lot of people have seen them. It's not like something new. It goes back to what, the 1800s, where
Something
people have
like
been
that. Where you
saying,
got
yeah, spacecraft. I mean, it's it's mind blowing. I mean, I would really like to know what really is going on, because I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I would too. And the the thing that they're looking into it, and they believe it could be like a threat.
yeah,
That should be a big. I don't want to say an alarm, but that should tell people, hey, if they didn't think there was anything to this, they would not be going through what they're going through now. And I
no,
think it is planned. I think it's pre-planned. I think, like I had said before when we talked, um, I think it's kind of a soft disclosure.
yeah,
With they can say, well, we never said that they were extraterrestrials, and then they'll go, but we didn't say it wasn't.
right,
Could be, maybe, but I don't know. But just in case, look, no, yes. I mean, this is how the government works, right? I mean,
right,
very,
right,
they're very, very smart what they do.
right. Oh
Like,
yeah.
if you watched, you probably watched the. I see some hands back there. That's pretty.
Oh, that's my kids. Girls.
No, that's
Oh,
funny.
sorry.
But
Girls are worse than boys. Let me tell you. Whew.
we had two boys, so yeah, they weren't too bad growing up. But
Well, I got three girls, so
we got three. Okay, okay.
yeah.
But yeah, so it's we don't know exactly what we're dealing with, but I'm sure that it's not just even our craft, which I think some are,
Mm.
but it's just common sense even tells you it's like all the whole years, all the like thousands and thousands of sightings, the what do you call it, the physical trace cases where these craft landed, burn the ground, radar,
Hmm.
eyewitness reports, just you know but I mean, is every single thing nothing? If you put the whole base of it, everything together, it's like you've got a phenomenon that it's real. You've got a phenomenon that there's something to it. Um, they're only going to be able to deny it for so long. Other countries are starting to come out too with their reports. So
Oh yeah.
uh, I am cautiously optimistic about it. Again, like I say, soft disclosure. Now, could that lead? Now they said that some people were saying, okay, since the actual 70s, since like ET, remember Close Encounters,
Oh
ET
yeah. Yeah.
in the 70s, early 80s, that was the start of the pre-plan to kind of indoctrinate the public about, hey, there could be. Now there was in the 50s and 60s all the old UFO shows too, in the
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember them, like Lost in Outer Space and all that. Yeah.
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 So, but I think if you look at the long history, you sometimes you read between the lines. Oh, there's definitely something there. I mean, I don't want to, we have to use logic and things like that, but there's something. There's got to be something there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's for sure. I mean, don't didn't they say one of the presidents uh, met with the aliens back in the day? Was it
Yes, it
Truman
was.
or?
I think it was Johnson. in the 60s.
Yeah, I know it was one of them. Yeah, one of
Yeah.
the presidents.
And then
And
also,
so,
well, Reagan had that famous speech. If you can look it up, and he said if there was this threat, and a threat, and from out there, would we all band together and
right.
fight this threat? And that's what a lot of people think that Star Wars missile defense system was. It wasn't for the Russians. It was for
For the aliens. Yeah, yeah,
now again,
yeah.
was it all for that? But sometimes you read between the lines, and you're like, hey, there could be something more to this than just the Russians or the Chinese. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, because you got to think of it this way. Like you said, these kids, we've been indoctrinated all of our lives. I mean, and I'm 49, and that was always something that would be on TV or
Yeah.
you know. I remember V. You remember that show?
Yeah, with
I
the
mean,
they were
yeah,
like
with the
aliens, yeah, yeah,
reptilians. Yeah, yeah.
yep. They ate rats and everything. Yeah, I remember.
hmm Yeah, I mean they've indoctrinated us to. I think that's when they did come out and did that little soft disclosure that people didn't go crazy. It was just like, oh, it was just something new, no biggie.
Yeah, and it was very popular if you remember at the time. I mean, it was a hit rated show, and
Yeah.
um, so now you have it's proliferating, and now you have all these videos on TV. I forget the one I just end up watching. It's a new series. Oh, I forget it. They show all these videos and they try to debunk them and things like that. Uh,
hmm
not the unexplained. I kind of forget offhand right now, but yeah, all
Yeah.
these UFO shows and things like that. And one of my favorites now is Skinwalker Ranch, Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I like Skinwalker Ranch. That's a crazy place.
Yep.
And they say there's more of them. I think in Missouri there's.
Marty Woods,
Yeah, Marley
Missouri.
Woods. Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's also a spin-off show now beyond Skinwalker Ranch. Have you watched that? They've had like two episodes.
I haven't seen that one yet. I ain't had a
Very,
chance to
very
watch
good.
it.
They did the Bradshaw Ranch, and then they did this other one last week, and I didn't watch this week's yet. But I remember reading about the Bradshaw Ranch, and the things that happened at the Bradshaw Ranch happened at Skinwalker. So this could be one of those window type areas where everything from orbs, creatures, UFOs can come through, and they're in some kind of a portal, you can say, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This UFO stuff. It's just I'm looking in the sky all the time now. When I'm
Mm-hmm.
outside or something because you just don't know. You honestly don't know.
You don't know. That's right.
I mean, when I seen mine, the one I seen, it was round. It was a round light, and I've never seen nothing move that fast in my life. Like it just like shot straight up and over, and then it went down the hall a little bit. It was above my neighbor's house up on the ridge. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We videotaped it, but it's been so many years ago. I wish I'd have kept it because it was awesome.
Well, one of the things too we started about it's been about 3.5, 4 years ago is a new project called LAE, Light Anomaly Exploration, and we started that because we were hearing about a lot of these Bigfoot researchers. They're actually out in the woods researching Bigfoot at night, or just people out in the woods at night, and they're seeing these spheres of light. We call them spheres. Some people call them orbs. Yellow, white, red, and they're moving through the trees, up in the sky, doing all kind of look like maneuvers. And some of them seem to be sentient, almost like are they energy? Or are they actually living beings? Or are they part of the Bigfoot phenomena? Which this might be one of the areas where Bigfoot and the spheres just happen to coincide. I don't know if they're actually related or anything, but
Right, right.
it, a lot of people have been talking about this. Is probably the next big phase in slash Bigfoot slash UFO research too. Is these light spheres?
Yeah, yeah. I've heard about I've heard orbs. Different
Yeah, yeah,
different terminology, but they
mhm,
said some of them's like blue. Some of them can be like orange color.
yeah,
Some of them are just white.
yeah.
Like a bright light. There's all different colors. They said of them.
They said, I mean, from what I've read in books and stuff, if you see blue, those are ones that actually have caused physical harm. And
Really?
if you've read uh, uh, Hunt for the Skinwalker, uh, that there are actually the people who own the ranch. One night the dogs start going. They seen these blue lights in the field, and the dogs ran out. And later on, they heard a yelping, and the next morning they couldn't find them. They went and they found two greasy pots, like where these blue orbs incinerated the dogs.
Oh my
So you,
gosh,
yeah.
that's
So
crazy.
other reports too of some people have either been touched or been close to the blue orbs and they get sick. One guy had radiation poisoning. So the blue orbs, just anyone who's listening, the blue orb, don't go near it. Don't go near it. And I don't know why, but just what the reports tell you.
Wow. I know Skinwalker. I've watched that Skinwalker Ranch. It's. I really like the one guy. The era. What is he? I can't remember his name now.
Travis?
Uh, yeah, the one that they brought in specially because he's
Yeah,
an
Travis.
aeronautics engineer or
Yep.
something. Yeah,
Hmm.
and it seems like he really believes that there's UFOs. I mean, that's one thing they really do.
Hmm.
Go into all that. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how they shoot the missiles up and then strange stuff would just happen.
Yeah, if you read the if you ever get a chance, read that Hunt for the Skinwalker, read that book. There's some really weird stuff. Creatures, a giant wolf, uh, orbs, UFOs, just a plethora of unexplainedness in that ranch. Now, is there something buried in the ground, like is what they're trying to lead to in the series?
Uh huh.
Um, I don't know, and it is kind of like in a bowl, and the one and it's in a bowl, and is it
Yeah.
possible the ray, the ray or the gamma rays come down and they perfectly, or they go up? And the thing I like about that show is, again, people can say, well, it's half of it's fake, blah blah blah. Well, they're at least trying to do measurements, and they're trying to do it
Yes. Yeah.
as scientifically as they can. Now, everybody knows about TV. They can,
Yeah.
I watched a couple of the Monsters and Mysteries in America,
Yeah.
and believe me, they slant things. I was talking to the guy. He called me who made the show, and he
Uh huh.
says, "Well, we sensationalize, right?" That's what he told me, right? He said they're real stories, but we sensationalize the story
Yeah.
to make it good for TV. Now, is that what they're doing to Skinwalker? I mean, they're doing. You see the rockets, you see everything,
Yeah. I
but
know. That's yeah.
are they getting the exact data that they're talking about, though? I don't know, but I'm hopeful that what they're showing is mostly true. Okay, so,
Yeah.
but again, you always got to be a little skeptical on some of the shows.
My the one that really got me is when I was in the helicopter and
Yeah,
something kept showing it was underneath of them. Well,
yeah.
you couldn't see anything there. Yeah. I mean that was awesome.
Hmm.
I mean that something. I mean that machine didn't go off in that helicopter for no reason at all.
Yeah,
That
so that's
alert.
what I mean. Now, was there a way that they could have faked it? I'm gonna say, I'm
Maybe.
maybe, but if so, those guys are pretty good actors then, because they act like this stuff is really surprising them. So again, I mean, they could come out tomorrow and say the whole, you know, everything is sensationalized. I don't know, but I'm hoping not. You know.
Right. 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 Yeah. So what all do you guys like? I know you do UFOs,
Mhm.
Bigfoot. Do you guys like do everything? Cryptid wise and stuff like that.
Yeah, we tried to do. We were at Beaver State Park couple weekends ago, and did a little night investigation there. But we try to go out when we can. Um, Sometimes this thing called life and work prevents you from doing what you really want to do, and we haven't
Yeah.
done as much down here as we wanted to do, unfortunately. But we're starting to get back into it, and should we receive a report, we try to go to the area when we can. If not, we just talk to the witness if it's an older report, and we try to have them. Excuse me. Try to have them like fill out a report. We try to get as much detail on that sighting as we can. And it's better if we can go to the area. Maybe we can take measurements or take pictures to see where this thing
Yeah.
was. And so that's what we've kind of done. We've done a lot of night explorations and things like that, looking for Bigfoot or whatever else we can. But a little bit less as we get older, but we still do that.
Right. Right. Now I know you guys have been doing this for quite a while. I mean, you've been on some small town monsters
Yes,
show. Which ones have you been on?
the Sasquatch on Earth.
Uh huh.
There was the Ridge, which was talking about the Chestnut Ridge, Westmoreland, Fayette County, and then the new ones In Search of Mountain Monsters from West Virginia. And they've had one episode so far, and we'll be featured. My wife and I will be featured more in one on the Panhandle. We talk about some of the things that we found, or or some of the sightings that happened in the Panhandle, and that's going to be our major focus from here on in, is the Panhandle, and still over into Eastern Ohio also, and still my home thing of Beaver County too. We're
Yeah.
trying. We actually somebody I know knows somebody who they work with. Apparently, they live close to Raccoon Creek State Park, which isn't that far from here either. And they
Hmm.
apparently a couple years ago found some prints that look like Bigfoot prints. So I'm trying to work with this lady to try to get me in touch with them so they can show me the pictures and the photos and maybe go out there. But it's a slow go on this one. But we just found
Right.
out 3 or 4 days ago, so that's kind of a new case we're working on.
Well, that's awesome. That's real awesome. Now,
Small
where
town
you?
monster thing, it's cool. I mean, working with Seth and Heather
Yeah. Oh,
Moser,
yeah.
they're top notch. Um, they put out some really great. They put their heart and soul
Oh,
into their work. So.
they do. I tell you, they have got some good documentaries. I mean, they're really bringing things to light. I mean,
Yes.
they really get out there and beat the brush down and get
Mm-hmm.
some videos. Yeah, it's awesome. That's for sure. But I was going to ask you something that slipped my mind.
I'll ask anything.
It just went straight out the back. I can't remember what I was going to
Yeah,
ask now.
hey, yeah, I got about 9 years on you. Wait till you get my age.
But yeah, I know you guys. Do you have anything recently UFO wise that you guys have seen up that way, or any
No,
reports?
uh, the last we did get a report from that same lady who saw some kind of UFO over. There's again. Here's I'm losing it here. Average Reservoir in Beaver County. This
Hmm.
was about maybe 2 months ago. But down here,
Yeah.
we haven't received too much yet. But we think we'll change that. Like I was talking before about all the events we have coming down here.
Yeah.
We think by us getting out, us, me and Terry, and then Fred Saluga and his group to get it out to the public. Hey, come and talk to us. We have forms here. We won't use your name. That's what our Tomlinson Run Bigfoot Day coming up July 7th and 8th. We have
Yeah.
like a
I know.
countdown 7 because we're camping there. Which whoever wants to come, it's a free thing. Whoever wants to come, they can tell us their encounters. It doesn't just have to be Bigfoot, UFOs, ghosts, whatever. And the next
Hmm.
day we have our July 8th is we have Fred and I speaking. We have Dave and Carrie Rupert, and then we have Zach Moore. He's going to do a ghost thing. So that'd be a
Hmm.
cool thing if you want to come up. We had over 160 people for the first year last year.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's a few people, you know.
yeah, Park was
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know every time you guys share something, or like you'll share something on Facebook, I put it on my page, so people know, there's stuff
Yeah,
that
we
goes
appreciate
on,
it. That's what it
stuff
is.
that
We
goes on
want to all
here in
work
West
together.
Virginia and stuff. Yeah, yeah, because this like West Virginia kind of gets overlooked, I think, sometimes, about the stuff
Oh,
we have here.
this this whole area. Fred, Fred's been down there. He calls it Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I mean, there's so much. If the people start talking, it's going to be interesting what we can pull out of here, honestly. And I think we're on the right track, and I think that they will as we're here, as maybe they watch the Mountain Monster thing, you know, uh, as they see we're out here, we're serious. We don't use names. They might, we like to use their stories. Don't get me wrong, but we won't give exact locations like, hey, it's on, Hopper Road or something like that. We won't, and
Yeah,
their activities, but we will say, hey, Hancock County, this huge 7 feet tall reddish creature we're seeing, blah blah blah. We'll give you
yeah,
little clips. You can't give everything, but you give kind of the gist of it. And I think I'm excited about this year. From July on, it's going to be.
you guys are going to be busy. Sounds like you're going
Yeah.
to be really busy. Yeah.
Yeah, we have some events in PA too. We're going to do um, in July and August also.
Well, that's
We won't
awesome.
give up PA, but we do want to start to bring the focus down here a little bit more.
Yeah. Now, does that Chestnut Ridge run all the way down through Morgantown, or where
Yeah,
does
it's
it
a
stop
90
at?
or 100 mile, 90 or 100 some mile ridge from like Indiana all the way down to Morgantown. And they dubbed it Pennsylvania Twilight Zone with
Oh wow.
everything from Black Panther reports, Bigfoot reports, Thunderbird reports, that whole area. Westmoreland and Fayette are the like 1 and 1A as far as the amount of sightings that come out of there. Now we
Wow.
researched it years ago. Um, we don't really research that area because we have all this here, and there's other researchers that do it up there too. And I know Fred's group does Fayette County, and so, um, but I mean, you just can't do everything. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Well, you guys are in the right spot. You got Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia, all
ex-
right there.
exactly. And so why do we we don't need to go up to the ridge when we've got these other places that some really aren't that heavily researched, especially the Panhandle. So that's what we're going to kind of really focus on.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Now,
Northern Panhandle, I should say. Northern
Northern?
Panhandle.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that Las Vegas UFO thing here?
You know what? Honestly, I haven't looked into it that much. I really haven't, and I'll be honest with you, because other things going on. I mean, I kind of glanced at it. I'm like, I would really have to really read into it a lot to make a decision on it. So
Right.
until I do that, I'd be lying to you to tell you that I looked into it a lot. Just skimmed over it.
Right.
That's
That's I've seen some videos and stuff. You know what they showed on TV.
yeah,
I mean, you do see something there.
yeah,
Yeah, going, but someone says a call. It was a comet. The actual blue light you see go down,
uh-huh.
across the screen. But the boy come on TV. It's been a couple of days ago. No, maybe a week ago, and he seemed really sincere. Like he said, "I if you believe me, you do. If you don't, you don't."
Yeah.
Because he was having panic attacks and anxiety attacks ever since this happened. So
Mm,
it's one of them things you just don't know.
yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's going to be more and more people as time goes on that's going to look into that and investigate it, and more will come out because it's been only what a couple weeks, week and a half.
Yeah, it ain't been very long. Yeah, it's not been very long at all. But yeah, I know it just seems like UFOs are really being seen everywhere now.
Hmm.
It's like a daily occurrence now.
Yeah, yeah. And we had that little Chinese balloon flap about 2 or 3 months ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
whole
We,
Chinese.
we kicked the crap out of them balloons.
Right. That's for sure. What?
What was interesting with the balloon thing is what's kind of like a seldom known fact is during World War II, the Japanese launched what they were called fugu balloons, FUGO, fugu balloons, and
Uh huh.
they floated across the United States and actually did cause some damage out west. Some of them, when they fell, they caused fires. I think there's even 3 or 4 people that died from them. They
Oh
really
really?
suppressed. They really suppressed this. Look it up. I mean, yeah,
I'm gonna have to. I never heard of that
yeah. Well,
before.
most people don't, and it's something kind of like because I used to be a World War II buff too, and kind of like
Mm-hmm.
when the Japanese attacked the Aleutian Islands, which was part of Alaska. Technically,
Mm-hmm.
we were attacked between that and the Fugu balloons.
Yeah.
We were attacked, but they did not want that getting out for fear of, oh my God, the U.S. was attacked. Let's kind of push that to the side. So this is what you know. You can cleverly do this if you're the government.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they cover stuff up.
Yeah,
That's just.
and some of it, not to 100% stick up for them. Some of it, if it, it is probably a national security thing.
Yeah. Oh
Some of
yeah.
it makes some of it makes sense, especially during the war. You don't want your enemy to know, hey, you did a couple things. We're gonna. You don't
Yeah.
want to publicize that, and it makes
Right.
sense. Sometimes it's all the government bashing, but sometimes it's like they're doing it for a reason too. Some of
Oh
it,
yeah. 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 I understand that. That does make sense. I mean, there's some things they don't want our enemies to know. Yeah.
exactly. And if they're gonna go, as long as you think, as long as we're safe, hey, they're doing the right thing. Once we start getting attacked, then it's something different. Then they better come out and say, hey,
Right. Right. That's for sure. But what's been going on in the Bigfoot world? Anything new? I mean, anything new and interesting?
well, not really, as far as anything. Now I know that uh, what's it called? I think Legend Meets Science too. Is this new documentary supposed to be coming out with Jeff
Mm-hmm.
Melker? And they're supposed to have some like a new piece of evidence, but until it actually comes out, we don't know. I do want to see
We,
it,
yeah, right, right.
but I
Well,
know
let's
that
see.
one of the newer things, eDNA, environmental DNA, where if there's a creature there, they might be able to get DNA through water or through the earth. And
Yeah.
there, there's like the Olympic project, which has the nests out west, um,
Mm,
and they're allegedly putting together all their findings to go to a peer review to see, you know, could these big nests have been made by Bigfoot? But until a lot of this stuff actually comes out, it's you know what I mean. Until it comes out, I know there's a group down in Oklahoma. They're doing some really good things, but until it comes out to the public, I got to say, well, right now, until we see something, I don't. And I think that there is stuff being worked on in the background, but how
yeah.
much? How much
Right.
is going to be new is something. And I'm hoping. Don't get me wrong. I'm hoping this
Yeah.
new stuff would be great for the field. But
Yeah. It would.
right now, another thing like the UFOs, cautiously optimistic.
Right. Right. Yeah. They're. Well, I know that Melba. What's her name? Dr. Melba Ketchum's trying to
Yeah.
get money for that. What is it? The DNA study.
DNA, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're working on it. I hopefully they get something.
And there could be, the thing is, there could be a lot more that's going to come out too. And again, I don't know, and I don't claim to know. I'm
Yeah.
I'm a pretty honest person. I'm going to tell you if I'll tell you my feelings. I'll tell you if I
Yeah.
really know about something or if I don't. So, but until something concrete comes out, all you can
Mm-hmm.
kind of do is hope, right? I mean,
Right. Right. That's for sure. Now I seen them nest the Olympic project.
mm,
Put out there. That was pretty awesome.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting. It's a definite thing to keep your eye on. It really is, and to see what findings that they eventually publish.
Right.
And who knows? Maybe that is part of that documentary. I'm not sure. I mean, again, it's
Yeah.
something that I can't comment on because I don't know. But yeah,
Right.
we
Right.
all will probably find out together. You know what I mean?
Is it you? Are you getting a lot of Bigfoot sightings up that way in the port where the part you're up there in that Panhandle?
Well,
Uh.
not yet. Um, we think once because I put it out on some of the groups down here. Hey, have you guys seen this or seen that?
Yeah.
And I have one guy I've been trying to contact for almost 3 or 4 months. He allegedly saw one down here somewhere in Weirton. Every time I
Hmm.
contact him, well, I'm moving. Well, I'm doing this. I'm like, dude, I
Yeah.
just 20 minutes of your time. I'll
Yeah. Just
write
give me
everything
your
down.
story.
Coming up on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
weekend. So yeah, I got to try to really maybe even this weekend try to reconnect with them, and then because I'd like to talk about it at our event. You know,
Yeah. 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 That'd be awesome. I mean,
but we will.
people.
We think we are going to get some, but it's a matter of us going out to the general public because you can only do so much on Facebook and things like that. So.
Right. Right. You gotta get out
But
there.
they're talking about the event. I know that. Like up at the park, we go up to the park, and they said there's a lot of people talking about coming again. So
That's good.
that's
That's
Thomas
that's
to run.
really
Yeah,
good. Hopefully, you guys get some stories out of
that's what it's for. That's the main. That's really the main reason we do it is to get both organizations, us and West Virginia Q, which is Fred's, is to
Hmm.
get that to get the word out and
Yeah.
have people come. Now Fred just had a book, Paranormal Gateway, West Virginia Paranormal Gateway, and then so did Les. Les has his Bigfoot, I think, Old Man of the
The
Woods or
old
something.
man of the forest. Yeah, old
Yeah,
man of the forest or something like that, or the
yeah.
mountains,
So
something like that.
and the mountain, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
uh, I'm sure, like with those two books, they're going to be getting more now too. So it's an exciting time. We're calling it like the golden age of panhandle research because
Right.
it's just a start. Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, there isn't really a lot of Bigfoot investigators here in West Virginia, is there? I know
No,
Les and you guys now, and
now
Fred,
us, Fred Saluga. There's
Russ Jones, Dr. Russ. Yeah.
Rush Jones, Ron Lanham, and Joe Perdue is the ones that we know.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's not very many
And
people
it's a
that
huge state. It's a huge state.
I know, and we're what like the second most wooded area in the United States. I think it is. We're
Yeah,
number
something like
two
that.
or number three.
Yeah, something like that. I kind of starting to read and learn about West Virginia geography, locations. That's kind of our new thing too, because when I go up or when we go up to give our presentation, we want people to know, hey, although I don't want to use the term outsiders, but
Right,
um,
right.
we're trying to immerse ourselves in the culture, in the sightings, in the haunted locations. It's we've been down here, like I said, August will be 2 years, and within the last year, we've been trying to do that more and talk to more people, to learn, buying books, you know, because we lived in PA all of our life, and now we got
Yeah.
to learn here because we're here, which is kind of fun. I think it's a whole brand new. It
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
but it's probably new to you. You know, it's a different.
sparks your interest. Yeah, it's really cool.
We're different down here.
Well, I think down here is what you just keep, like in Pennsylvania. They're a little freer to talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
but down here it's like,
All touch
well,
hush.
yeah, don't tell that guy. He might want to go hunting or killing. I'm like, no. I mean,
Yeah,
no, we're not.
yeah.
We just want to get the sightings, get it out to people. Um,
Right.
yeah, I mean, definitely don't want this creature hurt. Obviously, I mean, it's not what we do. We're not with anyone that we know. I don't know anyone that's out to kill it, and I'm
Right.
glad.
That's the way me too. I don't want to see something. I don't want to see one get killed or something.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, it's you're in a hot spot for the paranormal. I mean, you're close to Moundsville. Well, probably not real close. I don't know how
About an
far.
hour. About an hour. Yeah.
There's you got the penitentiary down there, and
Yep.
then the
Yep.
mound, and that's it's just old city. It's just old. It's an old place.
And the one thing that we've started to look into, and our mentors, like Dr. Paul Johnson. If you've never heard of that, he's probably the second longest running UFO person in Pennsylvania, Paul
Mm-hmm.
Johnson, and he does a lot of genealogy, and he does records. He has a file, goes into newspaper records. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
starting to give him, hey, what do you type in? Weird and UFOs, ghosts, and I'm giving them all these things to start looking up for us too. And we're trying to pull out. There's not a lot written down
Yeah.
here. There is in PA. PA is a plethora of old sighting reports, newspaper articles. We have booklets of newspaper articles from PA, just from PA,
Wow.
Ohio, West Virginia. Man, is it hard. This is between that. We tell everybody between that, the terrain around here. I mean, we ourselves live in a holler, and you look there, there's a huge hill. You look behind us, there's a huge hill.
Yeah, yeah, you're surrounded. Yeah,
The
yeah.
fact that we're getting older, and it seems like everything's posted down here, and the people don't want to talk. This is the biggest challenge we're ever facing
Oh yeah.
researching. Believe me, it's. I wish I was about 10 or 15 years younger to go up and down these hills. I mean, I do a little bit and I pay for it afterwards, but um,
Yeah.
just all these things are conspiring against any researcher.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, to try to, first you got to get the people to talk, to pinpoint an area. Then you got to go hike it, and hopefully it's not posted or you don't get shot. So it's kind of
Right. Right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're 100% right. It's just you gotta get to know the people. I remember when I was a kid. We deer hunt. My dad would deer hunt on this old man's property. Well, we was there a couple times a year. We take him a carton of cigarettes, and I mean, and that's how we got in there. It was, of course, it was close to Pennsylvania line. The line up there, and but yeah, that's how we got to get him to go hunting. You just stop and talk to the older people, which there's not very many left anymore.
yeah,
But hell, he was probably in his 70s, and I was only probably 7, 8 years old.
yeah,
All
yeah.
the old timers are almost gone. That knew all the stories.
And I think the newer, I think like the younger people here, it's starting to change with all the stuff on TV, and they're more apt now than they were even 10 years ago, which Fred even said. And
To talk about it. Yeah.
yeah, so and then hopefully by the time that we fade off into the sunset, that that next generation of research, it'll be even easier for them, and we can have stuff documented for them, because we do want to do a book of our own too about the stuff down here. It may take another year, but we want to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
to get that material out. So down the line for somebody else, they can use our research too and maybe come up with something. So it's you always got to look out for the people behind you too, because you want to try to leave them something, because there's
yeah,
less of people that want to do this now. The younger generation would rather sit and play a video game than walk in the woods. I mean,
yeah, yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, we was outside. That's where we stayed outside in the woods. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. My mom and dad just, when that street light comes on, you got to be home, and that was how it was. You know,
Yeah,
we lived in a suburban thing. You know,
yeah,
so yeah, we had to be home. But we were out pretty much all day on the weekends. I leave like maybe 9, 10 o'clock. I wouldn't be back. Maybe for dinner at 5:30. Leave and then come back.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I remember going out in the woods and be out all day. You know,
Yep.
just out building. You know, making little cabins, little forts. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. We would make little dams because we had like two sections of woods, one closer and then one a little further away. But there was two. I mean, they weren't like gigantic woods or anything. It
Yeah,
was in Hopewell, and we would go and reroute the creek and make these big ponds and go fishing and throw fish in them and things like. Yeah, that's what we would do. Yeah.
yeah. I bet there's a lot of paranormal up in Weirton because that's an old town. Like it's really old, and it used to be a pretty big boom town when the steel workers was working there.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that, because I was kind of looking into that a little bit, and I found out that Weirton Steel at one time was the fourth largest steel producer in the U.S. I was shocked because we grew up close to Aliquippa, which they had J&L Steel, and
Uh
that was
huh.
huge. I don't think it was anywhere. They said that there was like 13,000 workers down,
Yeah, yeah. I
and then
remember.
when the steel went down, everybody started leaving. It got depressed, and just like Aliquippa, downtown Aliquippa, all these storefronts they left, and then you started to go to the malls, the WalMarts, and these towns started to die. And Weirton reminds me a lot of Aliquippa. It really does.
Yeah, I've been up that way. There's a lot of woods up that way. I mean, it's a massive amount of property, like up in
Yep.
Weirton and down into Chester and Newell, and because I worked in Newell there for a while. At one of the plants, we was doing some stuff, some electricity work up there, and
Mm-hmm.
I actually got to work with some of the guys that work for Weirton still.
Mm-hmm.
It was right when they was ending it. Some
Yeah.
of the older guys that was electricians there was working there too,
Mm-hmm.
and they say it used to be a booming place at one time.
Yeah. Yeah. As was Aliquippa, like in the early '70s.
Yeah,
I was born in '65, so to about 75, 77. Then they started to go in recession, and the mills start closing, and yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's the way a lot of little towns around here. I mean, the coal
Yep.
mines. After the coal mines is done, I grew up in a coal mine camp, so once everything left, it was like boom.
Now I found out too, like down here, I have a friend Scott who actually got lost in one of these mines when he was a kid,
Oh
and he showed me
wow.
the newspaper articles and everything. I think it was in '77, and after he got lost, they found him and his friends. They closed all the mine entrances. He said that we live in Hancock County, okay, which is actually the
Yeah,
smallest county in West Virginia, smallest county
yeah.
land wise. And he says it's littered with mines. So again, if some people claim, hey, maybe Bigfoot used mines, caves, you
That
know,
would be the place.
you're not going to be seen that much. You come up, if there's entrances that nobody else knows about. So I mean, I've always been interested in the cave slash mine theory with Bigfoot, because
Yeah.
it would explain, hey, during the day when there are some hunters and things out in the woods, you go down in a
Perfect.
mine, you go deep back in the woods. Once darkness hits, they own it. They own the woods.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, it makes sense if you can kind of look at it like that. You know.
yeah. I was hunting down in Webster County. We was West Virginia, and we found an old abandoned mine, that was
Uh-huh.
cut into the hillside. And now I think about it, that's the perfect place for a Bigfoot to go in there, lay down, because I mean, you really don't know how far it goes in there. Because I'd be afraid to death to go in there,
Yeah, and
just
especially
because
like
of something falling on you or something.
Yeah, because like most of the mines and stuff, they're kept at a steady temperature all year.
Yeah,
And I don't
yeah,
remember like if it was like mid 50s or upper 50s, but the further
yeah,
you go down, it stays at a certain temperature. And as long as they would have my just in my opinion, if they would have a way in and another way out, two entrances, why
yeah,
not? I mean, if it's
yeah.
one
Because
end, yeah,
there would be water. I mean, there's always water in the coal mines,
yeah.
plenty of water. So I mean, just them getting their food, whatever they would eat, they could stay in there for a long time.
Yeah, and like you said, let's say somebody was going to go into the mine. They're making noise. They got flashlights. If there's different entrances or different hiding places, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, again, I mean, it's a lot of what we talk about. It's just how do you say? It's just
Theory.
conjecture.
Yeah, yeah, theory. Yeah.
So yours is good as mine, if not better. So it's kind of like who knows for sure. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
that's what we try to tell people. There's some people that think, oh, they know everything about Bigfoot. If we did, we'd have a body, wouldn't we? We'd have more proof. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a I always like to say there's a missing aspect in the Bigfoot phenomenon. Okay,
Yeah.
there's a missing piece. Now I don't know if like some people claim they could be interdimensional. Could they be interdimensional? Is that why you can't find them? Are they just masters of camouflage? What's the missing
Link.
piece? Why we
Yeah.
don't have even more evidence? I mean,
Yeah.
I always try to look at everything every different possible way. I don't go in with one mindset. Our group researches all the cryptids though as if they're flesh and blood first, like
Yeah.
a bear.
Yeah.
We're looking for proof. We're looking for scat. You're looking for prints. You're looking for damage, tree damage, or things like that. But after that, then you say, well, how could this huge creature stay in an area and not be seen more? Then you say, okay, well, what if it does this? What if it does this? But then it's like, what if there's something special about it? Maybe it can go in and out of a dimension. I'm not saying it does. I like to always say that we
Yeah.
research as flesh and blood researchers, but there's a big for us. There's a big question mark there.
Oh yeah.
Big. I mean,
Yeah. I just seen. I was. What was I was watching something there on YouTube. Oh, I think it was MK Davis where he. If you go to his YouTube page, he's got a new video out where they really took the Patty film
mhm.
and they've really cleared it up a lot, and it is amazing. I mean, you can see the hair, the curls in the hair, kind of like it is really awesome. I was like, man, that's a shame.
You
That's the only the only picture we ever got.
well, what I tell people said, what if tomorrow they would come out and say that they proved it was a hoax?
Yeah.
Would that change your mind about Bigfoot? And I says no,
No.
because the phenomena exists. People still see them. It still leaves prints. There's dead animals. There's screams. There's hair samples. Not just because of that film. Okay,
Right.
uh,
Right.
and stuff's happening all the time, pretty much everywhere. And
Yeah. Yeah.
for this to be, people have short attention spans. They really do. Like our news is like what, like a 10-minute cycle. Hey, it's on Facebook. Boom, it's on every site in 5 minutes. Like unfortunately, about the submarine, which
Yeah. I
is
know. Yeah.
very, very sad. And sorry,
Yeah.
condolences to their families. It's very sad. It's even hard to even talk about it. But
Yeah.
um, once that story hit, boom, it's on every site within a matter of like 10 minutes, and everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
And now in a day or two, there'll be another cycle. So another news story comes. But Bigfoot persists. It persists. It's still being seen. UFOs persist. They're still being seen. This is what you got to tell a skeptic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it was all a hoax or all this, why is this stuff still happening? Why?
Right.
Go away. It's not going away, guys. I mean, believe in these creatures or believe in anything in the paranormal you want or don't. It doesn't matter to me. It does not.
Right. Right.
But ask yourself, why does all this stuff still persist? And why are people still seeing, whether it's a ghost, lights in the sky? They're still seeing these things.
Right.
And some party has got to say, well, maybe there is a little bit to this.
I agree with you. I mean, there was way too much there's way too many sightings. I mean, I figure the sightings is probably in the thousands now. And then you got footprints. You've got no, I'm not. I'm the whole tree bends and stuff. I'm not big. I don't know much about it. You know how they bend the arches
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. There's some stuff that can happen, naturally, but
Yeah.
I've seen some that be like, how in the heck did that tree stay like that? Bent.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that is like we always say, um, you know, until you actually like have seen a Bigfoot bend or twist, you can't really say it's Bigfoot. Now, um, talking about weather phenomenon, this is kind of interesting. A couple months ago, maybe 2 months ago, we had a really bad rainstorm, really
Mm-hmm.
high winds. So I go out in my yard and I see this stick about that big, and I'm trying to pull it out of the ground, and it was hard. That stick came from one of the trees from the wind, a really bad windstorm, and it must have been in. If the stick was this big, it must have been embedded like that much, and it was
Oh,
hard to pull out. So
oh my God.
nature can do some really,
Yes, they
really
can. Yeah.
unbelievable things. Okay, now we had one sighting up in Grove City in Mercer County where a gentleman claims that there was a Bigfoot and it was shaking the tree. He said its arm was on it, it was swaying back and forth, and he saw it. But that's the only one where we've had like
To actually, yeah,
somebody said, hey, they didn't say bend it or twisted it, okay,
they're
just
just shaking it.
they wanted to scare this guy out of there, which it worked. He
Oh, I
laughed.
guarantee it. If I see something shaking a tree, I'm out of there.
And he said it wasn't like this huge tree, but he said it was like this. I mean, it was. So if you're shaking it and it's all the way up the top, it's swaying. That's a pretty powerful individual that can do that. You see
Oh,
what I
no
mean?
doubt.
So,
Yeah.
um, again, we always used to like, unless you have seen Bigfoot do it, you know, like the structures,
Yeah.
okay, the how the X's and how all the trees are twisted one way. I mean, a microburst, things like that can do that.
Yeah.
So we've taken our pictures and we've seen some weird things. You know what? We take them and we don't even really show them because a
Yeah.
lot of groups today think, oh, Bigfoot was here. Look, this is there. Was there a Bigfoot scene? No. Was there any strange noises? No. Any
Right.
animals?
Right.
And they say no to everything. It's like, well, how are you attributing this to Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Now, if you have a bunch of, there's like a list of some things. Hey, if a Bigfoot could be on your property, there's a list from Tom Powell. A book you'd
Hmm.
like to get is called The Locals. If you ever get a chance to read that, read it. The
The
Locals
locals, is that the name of it?
from Tom Powell. Yeah.
Okay.
And you definitely want to get that. And it gives you, there's a list. How it says if you think, how to know if there may be like a Bigfoot on your property. I think he says that's how it's termed, maybe. And
Uh huh.
there's a lot of things. So if I'm at a property, like if all those things are happening around here, I'm going to say there might be something there. Not
Right.
just,
Right.
there's a tree bend there, so that's a Bigfoot. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Finding Bigfoot, of course, everybody's seen that. It started a culture of, I'm going to go out in the woods, bang on a tree, and whoop, and there's going to be a Bigfoot there every time.
Nah.
Not the
Yeah.
way. Not the way.
No.
And
Yeah. From
so,
what I've heard, most of uh, the people that have had encounters, that I've read about, it was them being either just camping like normal people do. They wasn't Bigfoot hunting or
yep,
nothing. They was just having fun, and I guess it attracted Bigfoot. They just want to see what was going on.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
In
I
fact,
mean that's
and a lot of our sightings too that we get to, they're so, I don't want to say mundane because I wish I had a mundane sighting. I've never seen one. They'll be
me neither.
driving at night, and this thing just walks out in front right into the woods.
Yeah,
So many are from people driving in cars at night. I mean, really. I mean, look it up. It's or a lot of people maybe they go outside real quick and they see something, or they're not expecting to see a Bigfoot, and
yeah,
or Mothman or your term, your cryptid, whatever. A lot of people I know, like Fred in MUFON, because he's an investigative state section director in West Virginia. You should have him on one time. He'll really. I'll
Yeah,
tell him
yeah,
the
yeah.
contact.
Tell him about it. Yeah,
So many people at night see UFOs when they go out to smoke.
that makes sense. I mean, because you're smoking, you're looking up.
You're smoking. How many like
Yeah,
he used to read me reports and oh I was out smoking and he goes there it is somebody was out smoking some maybe it's 12 1 o'clock at night hey I'm gonna go outside and smoke what's that so it's like
right,
pretty much
right.
like yeah with Bigfoot somebody's driving boom there comes a you're in a house that might be haunted hey I'm just sitting there and boom I see something out of the corner of my eye we saw something in our house too I saw uh, it was a quick looked like an older woman. She was kind of hunched over. Went into the kitchen, and I said, real quick, I said, "Hey Terry, what are you doing in there?" And I look, there's nobody in there. This was just like within. I went from the bathroom to the kitchen. It was like 2 seconds after that. I turned around. She was sitting right here on this couch. I'm like, that wasn't Terry.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Wow!
this happened about a year ago. So, and there was an old lady who lived here until she went into the home and she passed. So, I mean, was it her? I don't know, but
Right.
I know what I saw. It was a form, and it was a full figure form. It was just a flash, and it went into the kitchen with nobody in that kitchen.
Wow! I bet that flipped you
Oh, it
out.
did. It did. It did. Now we've done some ghost investigating. We've heard some things, but that kind of like I was like, wow, I actually saw this. I mean, it was so quick, though. It was so quick,
Yeah.
but it was noticeable. Like,
Right. Right. Another thing. People. Say, "Oh, I've been hunting all my life here. I've never seen Bigfoot or nothing." And I always tell them this: I'm 49 years old. Lived in West Virginia all my life. Been to the mountains hundreds of times.
mm-hmm.
In all them years, I've only seen one black bear. One black bear. That's all I've seen in my 49-year life, and I've only seen three bobcats in my lifetime.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, they're hard to see. I
So
like
yeah,
that.
that just goes to show you, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah,
I mean, a bear is a big animal. I mean, they're pretty big, and real lot. You see them out right in front of you,
and
but
what's interesting about like we're talking to hunters, I've never seen anything. If you start to quiz them, okay, you say, okay, so you never heard any weird sounds. You can't. Well, you look at their eyes, and then you could tell they're processing this, right?
yeah, yeah,
Well, yeah, I did hear this really weird scream. Don't think it's a Bigfoot. I don't know what it was. So they're trying to rationalize it because they don't believe.
yeah. In
But
your mind, yeah, in their mind, they're trying to say, "Oh, wait, it wasn't nothing."
and I used to work at Gander Mountain, which is a local outdoor store. I don't know if you had them down here in West Virginia.
No, we don't. We never did have one. I always wanted to go to one, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I was around hunters. I used to hunt
All the
like
time.
years for a couple years only.
Yeah.
Um, and the people that worked and people come in, it's all deer all the time. It's let's
Hmm.
lead up to buck season. Right after buck season's over, okay, let's start getting ready for next buck season. And it's like all they want to talk about is deer and hunting, hunting, hunting.
Right. Right.
You do talk to a guy like that who has seen one, they will not, and they're like, I'm never going back into the woods again. That's how scared they are when they see these things because they think
Hmm.
I'm the alpha predator. I got a 30-06, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the biggest guy out. What the hell's a giant ape doing walking around in the woods? I'm not.
Right.
We've talked to a couple that they will not hunt again. This is like taking your livelihood, your best passion, you give it up because you're scared to go in the woods, and it happens. Believe me, it happens.
Yeah, I've heard the stories. People say
Yeah.
they're never going back in the woods again. Because Bigfoot and stuff like that. It's crazy. Like I said, I've been out in the woods so much. I mean, I probably have heard something that didn't make no sense, but you overlook it. I tell you what, Les did a video down in I think it was on Sutton Lake, and that crane, there was a crane flying above him, and that thing was, I've never heard a sound like that before. If I wouldn't have seen the bird, I would have thought Bigfoot was there. I mean, it made the god awfulest sounds you ever heard. But
We
luckily, he caught it on videotape. I'm like, That just scared the shit out of me. Honest to God.
We were down for a vacation. We were down in Franklin, North Carolina. This was probably about 8 or 10 years ago now, and we actually, like, instead of a cabin, it was almost like two sheds put together. It was cheap, So
Yeah,
we went
yeah.
down there for a week. So there was no restroom there. I had to walk to the restroom. So it was about 1 o'clock at night. I had to go. I walk around the corner, and we were in a holler just like this. I hear coming from the, up above us. So I went. I actually taped it. I went and I brought my tape recorder with me. I run back. I taped it, and we took it to the local uh, forest ranger station. I said, "Hey guys, can you identify what this is?" Two of them came in. I
Mm-hmm.
says, and I played it. Like, I says, "Any idea?" Well, maybe it's a night bird or something like that. And then I says, "It almost sounds like a feline." I said, Have you ever had any mountain lions?" So, no, ain't no mountain lions here. And then
Mm-hmm.
I had to throw it in. I says, "Have you guys ever had any Bigfoots?" Ah, ha, ha, no Bigfoot sightings here. So I
Right.
knew the list, and I played this for him. And he says, "Congratulations, you're one of the rare ones that heard the mating sound of a bobcat." So
Wow.
I taped it up, I pulled it up. I'm like, that's what I heard. It was a mating sound of a bobcat. And again, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning in a holler in Franklin, North Carolina. And these so-called experts, they were forest rangers, right?
Uh huh.
They didn't know what it was. So that tells you something. There's a lot of sounds out there that we don't know, like a mountain lion sound. Some people said it sounds like a woman screaming, and
Mm-hmm.
some people say that's what Bigfoot sounds like. So maybe are they hearing mountain lions? Which, you know,
Yeah,
so
they say they're not here, but yeah.
I had talked to several uh, rangers up in PA, and they're like, there's none here. They're escaped pets, is what they tell me. I'm like, so you
Yeah.
got that many people having mountain lions as a pet?
Right. Right. That don't even make no sense though.
Yeah, it doesn't. So I mean, again,
It's
you
just
know,
one of the things, that's there's so many animal sounds out there. Owls can make completely different sounds. They don't sound the
exactly.
same all the
That
time.
happened to us down at Beaver. Well, outside of Beaver Creek. Actually, you know what? It actually happens. If you ever type in the Ohio Howl, you ever type that in, the Ohio Howl, Bigfoot Howl?
No, no, I'll have to do that then. Check
That's
it.
in
Check.
Wellsville, Ohio. We are on that property. Okay, my son and I, and then another time with the PBS members.
Mm-hmm.
And the time that my son and I went back, we hear this woo, 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 ah, 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 ah. It sounded almost like apish. It's not the first part. The
But
second
the
part sounded like apish.
huh.
And we look back, and it also was like the mating call of an owl. I forget if it was a barn owl or something, but and I'm like, that's it. He thought the guy was overzealous, thought it was a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But this particular gentleman, that's where the Ohio Howl was taken on his property. Now
Uh,
he has a video of what it, for all intents purposes, it looks like the face of a Bigfoot. He had an infrared light and some bait hanging from a tree. I think it was an apple or banana or something like that.
huh.
So the camera's facing here, so you see. Remember, it's infrared light, so the face showed up white. Okay, you see this white, and here's the tree. This figure went like this, like it's smelling, and then it went.
Whoa.
And you also saw the hand. Like the face was here. This is the tree, and the hand, just a little bit of a hand, and it was white too. The move, if you would, I wish he would show this video to more people.
Uh
The
huh.
movement was so stealthy and slow. It was just like,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Wow.
to me, to me, that was a genuine Bigfoot. And I somewhere I have like somebody tried to analyze it for me, but the tape was so degraded because he gave me a copy of the tape,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you barely see like what the face looks like, but just the movements alone. I mean, if they, and people have talked about how stealthy they are, right? About how they peek around trees and just
Mm-hmm.
using as little movement as possible. And I was like, wow, if this was a hoax, this guy was really good. He had somebody said he might have had a Casper mask on. I'm like, no, it looked like apish, but it was white. You only saw this much of it, and
Yeah, yeah.
it was sniffing the bait, which would have been like a little bit further. He would have had to reach over, but it didn't. Maybe it sensed that camera and why it went back in. But
That's that's awesome. I mean,
oh, it was
that's
awesome. I mean, it was worth. I think the tape is now ruined or destroyed because it just got so degraded.
yeah,
You're talking. This was probably almost 15 years ago. I'm guessing, maybe not quite 15, 12 or 13 at least.
yeah.
So, but yeah. I mean, it's an interesting subject. There's got to be more to it. There has to be more to this stuff, or else
Oh,
we'd have quit a long time ago. Believe me.
right, right. Because you guys have been in it for quite a long time. Yeah. Well, what about the Mothman? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's one of probably my second favorite cryptid is the Mothman. Definitely. We we've gone down to the festival maybe 5 or 6 times. I actually got to speak a couple of times. Actually, we hope to be going down there in a couple of weeks. So,
That's
but
right. It is here for long, ain't it?
the actual festival is September 18th or something.
Oh,
But
okay. Okay.
um, I think that was one of these cryptids that was either an interdimensional type thing or possibly even extraterrestrial. I talked to one of the eyewitnesses. Her name was Marcellus Bennett,
Mm-hmm.
and if you watch like I think she was on the Small Town Monster. She was the eyewitness who saw the Mothman. She dropped her baby and
Mm-hmm.
picked her baby back up,
Oh,
and
wow.
she was recounting that story to me. I mean, briefly. No, I didn't talk to her for more than like 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Look in her eyes, the fear in her eyes, and this was like 40 some years after. She says, and it was chilling. She says, she pointed. She went, "Don't ever let them tell you that it doesn't exist." And then she looked and she went, "And it's from outer space." And then she walked away. And
Wow.
she because she saw a light in the sky,
Mm-hmm.
looked up, and then she was grabbing her baby because they had just got home, and this creature just almost appeared like right there. And that's when she dropped the baby and then grabbed the baby, went in the house, and this creature actually was walking on the roof. So
Wow.
yeah, and yeah, so yeah, the mont to me it was I don't know what it was, but I do believe it was real. I believe the people down there they're not giving people enough credit when they said, "Oh, it's a sandhill crane or it's another type of bird." These people
I don't think it's no bird.
they live
No.
down there. Give them credit. They know what a damn sandhill crane is. Now I know there's that mass hysteria type thing where okay maybe oh my god it's 6 sightings in a week and now there's a crane does fly over. Oh my god, it's a crane. But these people who really came out and talked about it, they were sure that it was not anything they've ever seen before. I mean, with the red eyes, the width, of, the wings on its back. Um, but yeah, it is one of the most. Well, that's the state cryptid of West Virginia is the Mothman. That's
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Actually, I was picking the wife up from work, and we was coming down the hill there, and someone had a Mothman sticker on the back of their car. A little
Uh,
Mothman.
we
Yeah, I
actually
mean,
did receive last year. We received when we did the Thomas Run. We received a winged. We call them winged entities. We lump them all together. We don't call them Mothman. Winged entities.
right, right, winged
Seen,
and
were
yeah.
seen at Tomlinson like about now it's been about 7 years ago or whatever. And she drew it. I have a picture of it somewhere. And
Wow.
just like the wings wrapped around it. And I said, "You sure it wasn't a bird?" And our child was quizzing her, "You sure it wasn't a bird or, uh, like maybe a turkey vulture or something?" It had, But she said no. She said this thing when it flew over the car, it was all, over the car, but it encompassed the whole hood. That's how big it was. And then it wasn't, turkey vulture maybe this much, it
Yeah,
encompassed the whole hood, and it looked like
that's
a
big.
kind of like a body, and then yeah. So
That's something big. I mean, that's no bird. Yeah, I mean, the alien thing does kind of make sense. If it was extraterrestrial, I mean, what was it they had? The Braxy, the one up in
Braxton
Braxton,
monster, yeah, in the 50s, yeah, yeah.
and that was more of an out extraterrestrial from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
from
but
the
yeah, there's
drawings I've seen. It does kind of look, like an alien.
yeah,
I mean,
it is
and,
looking. Yeah. They were
yeah,
trying to say. I'm trying to think. They were trying to say that was that an owl, a giant owl or something. I'm like, that,
Nah. I've seen big owls. I've seen eagles up close. That was something way bigger. The Mothman's something way bigger. Like you said, it's definitely
yeah. West Virginia's got a lot of these weird. Uh, I call them like one-off cryptids. You know, you've seen them once or twice. The
right.
Grafton Monster was another
Yeah,
one.
the Grafton Monster.
Vegetable Man, yeah. So and the Goat Man, yeah. So they have a West Virginia's got a lot of those really cool. You know, you're into cryptids.
Yeah, sheep squatch.
Sheep Squatch is
You
another
heard
one. Yeah,
that? Yeah. And
yeah.
I was reading. I always did like the folklore of West Virginia. So Telltale Lilac Bush. I don't know if you've read that one yet or
Which
not.
one is it?
Telltale Lilac Bush
I've
by
got the
Ruth
book.
Ann
I
Mussey.
have not read it yet, though.
Well, if you look in there, there's a picture of what they called the white creature that someone had drew. For the story. There's a story with it,
Okay, okay.
and it does have horns. It is. Um, it doesn't show it standing on two legs. It's on all fours. But it kind of reminds you of what they're talking about, like sheep squats. I mean, it had horns like a sheep. You'll see it in the book. It's black and white. How they drew in that.
Now there's a gentleman by the name of Kurt McCoy. He has he has a book out called White Things. It's
Hmm.
about white creatures in West Virginia. That's another one. If you get a chance to get that one
I
called
didn't know there
White.
was that many books about West Virginia. Or,
Yeah, there's more than what you think. More ghosts. There's
Yeah,
some Bigfoot, but more ghosts. And we're trying to learn about that rich history of the ghosts too, of the and
yeah.
especially in the Panhandle, we're trying to learn that also. So there's a lot of study. It's fun though. It's
Oh
you talk.
yeah,
Hey, what's haunted here? Or what?
yeah. I mean, I always did like the folklore and history of West Virginia. I always did like it. There's
And
so much stuff.
more's coming out too. More researchers are doing more things about it. So yeah, it's interesting. It's who knows what within the next 10 years we're going to hear about. You know?
Well, I mean, and where I grew up, Les did a little segment on something that I never even heard of. I forget the name of it now, right offhand, but and I grew up there and I never had heard the story. But my grandpa he always teased me about a wampus cat. But
Yeah,
I thought he was like just coming up with this until I started looking into stuff. Yes, there is a wampus cat,
yeah,
a cryptid.
yep, yep. We have the down here in Hancock. One of the biggest ones down here is the Beast of Bell Hill.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of more localized. If you're from around here, you know about it, but if you're probably
If
not in
not,
town, you never heard about it. So basically, in the story on that in the '80s on Bell Hill Road, which is literally like 4 miles from our house now.
really,
Yeah, and
wow.
so there was a series of like animals went missing, animals were mutilated. There was food taken out of barns and things like that. It was all kind of things. It was either an alien, it was a cat, a big cat, like a Black Panther or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and a Bigfoot. Now about 1 year ago, I met someone who met I met someone else who was a reserve deputy down here. He knew somebody. He goes, I know somebody that actually saw the Beast of Bell. I says, oh, please give me. I got to talk to him. So
Right,
I
right.
did. So I did. And the thing that he saw was a Bigfoot on Bell Hill Road. He still lives there. Okay,
Uh huh.
it was a Bigfoot. And to make a long story short, is uh, him and his friends had built this cabin. So they built it. It was getting dark. They were going to come the next morning and check it out. Well, they come the next morning. It's all tore up. So they walk up to the hill, all the way up to the hill, and then on top of the hill there was like a tree, and it looked like the tree was moving a little bit, and there was something behind it. So
Mm-hmm.
they start going closer to it, and the main guy, who's the guy I talked with, he said all of a sudden it looked like a giant monkey. It was reddish. It came out from the tree and it started to walk toward us. So they ran back down to the house, and they got their I think it was the uncle there, and came up with the gun. He didn't see anything. He says the Beast of Bell Hill, that was a Bigfoot. So that was the first big break that maybe not every sighting there, but it
Mm-hmm.
seemed like the Beast of Bell Hill was a Bigfoot. So
Wow.
yeah, so that's exciting.
Yeah, where I grew up, I was close to Mannington, and I think it was back in the 70s or 80s. Uh, there was a Bigfoot. Well, BFR. It's on BFRO site, but there was a Bigfoot. What they think was a Bigfoot over in the Mannington on the outskirts of town there. It was pretty fascinating little story that they put out there. I guess it was knocking on the side of the house and hooting and
Huh,
hollering and stuff. Yeah.
huh.
So
That
there's a
happened
lot
in
of woods.
there was a BFRO report from Brooke County like that too,
Hmm.
where this creature that was coming around the house. I think it might have even banged on. So once the guy put up a sensor, a motion light, it stopped coming around because it would
Yeah.
get boom, that light goes on. Oh, I don't want
Yeah.
light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They don't want it to be seen. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think they'd be curious to know what's going on. You know what I mean? And checking people out and watching us. And I mean, it's just normal.
we I always joke around and say that we are Bigfoot TV. People are Bigfoot TV. Think
Oh
about
yeah.
it. It
Yeah.
sounds funny, but they're always
But
observing. They're observing,
they,
especially like women and children. They apparently watch them more.
yeah.
So again, that's we're their TV. I mean, it sounds funny to say that, but in a way,
It's
kind of
true.
true. Think about
Yeah. Yeah. They like to watch us. I guess they probably think we're funny.
it. Well, we all do. We do some funny things, some stupid
Oh
things,
yeah.
right? As a
Yeah.
race, we
Right.
do. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yep.
Oh. Well, it's been a blast talking to you, Brian. I
Oh
really
yeah, that's
appreciate
what I said. I
you
was
coming.
looking forward to it. Yeah, yeah. I'll have to
Yeah.
get you Fred's contact information to get Fred on.
Yeah, I'd get Fred one here. Yeah, because yeah, I know
Okay.
I've shared a couple of his books that I think you put on there. I know he just had one recently because I shared it on my
He has the one out.
Facebook
Yeah,
page.
yeah.
Yeah, I try to
Paranormal
share.
Gateway, West Virginia. Paranormal Gateway.
I try to share everybody's stuff, because
Exactly. We all try to work
yeah, work
together. I mean,
together.
we work together with most people. I mean, there's
Yeah,
obviously you can never work with everybody, but yeah.
nah, not everybody's gonna get along. Everybody's got their own little thing. But yeah, it's been awesome talking to you. I appreciate you coming on here. I know you guys got a lot of,
Yeah, you
I'm
too.
sure,
Yeah,
interesting stuff. Maybe next time you come on, we talk about
yeah,
some
yeah.
ghost activity.
No, yeah, whatever you want, whatever you want. It's we hope to be doing more of that too. So
Yeah, you get you and your wife both one. I'm sure she's got some good stories to tell, doesn't she?
yeah, she does. Yeah, she does.
That's awesome.
She does. I'm sure she
That's
would. We
awesome.
can fit two of us here, or yeah,
That's
and keep.
awesome that you guys do it. As a couple, you guys go out and do this. I mean, that's awesome.
Yep, yep.
That,
It's
that is cool.
you should always have the uh like your wife, partner, whatever with you because it makes it more
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, you know what I mean.
yeah, that's awesome that you
And
guys are
your
both.
your group, your organization, the other people you hang with, because you
Yeah,
gotta you hang with the good people who bring out the best in you. You know what I mean?
right, right. Well, do you got anything coming up that you want to tell people about? If you want to go ahead and tell people how to get a hold of you, or
Well, yeah, we have a couple of Facebook pages. We have Center for Unexplained Events and
okay,
also Center for Cryptozoological Studies. You can contact us through there or contact me through my personal page, Brian Seech. And as far as our upcoming thing, the biggest one coming up is Tomlinson right now. Tomlinson Run State Park, Bigfoot Days. It's actually one night, July 7th, 6 to 8 is the town hall. Next day is the 8th. It's 1 to 5. There's 3 speakers and prizes and everything like that. And then we have a couple events in PA. And then our next, we're gonna, which I can announce now. I'm gonna announce it officially in a couple of days. But we're gonna do. Fred and I are gonna do a talk in Brook Hills Park on
mm-hmm.
September 30th. We're gonna be there for like 3 hours, 6 to 8. I think it's 6 to 8 or maybe 5 to 8, something like that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna talk for like an hour, but we're gonna be there an hour before, maybe a half hour, hour after. So people want to come talk. We'll have displays. He'll have his books and things to sell. We'll have like this shirt here, the Wilden.
Yeah, I've
we'll
seen
have,
your shirts. I like them.
yeah.
Them are nice. Yeah.
And and then after that we have Folklore Fest, which is on Gas Valley Road on the 21st of October, which it's a huge festival of folklore. There's going to be tons of vendors there, food, items, things for the kids to do. And we're going to be talking, I think, at 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we have Tomlinson Run. No, we have Cabela's on November 17th is the town hall 6 to 8, and November 18th is the five speakers from like 1 to 5.
Oh, you
So
guys are
that's
going to do like 2 days?
yeah, a night and a day, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's
I
going to
bet
be
you.
cool. They're all
You'll get,
these are all free events too. We don't charge for the events. We want people to come in and not have to worry about paying to see an event.
right, right. Well, that's going to be awesome.
Yep.
That sounds like that's going to be an awesome one there. The one at Cabela's, you
Yeah,
know.
come down. Hopefully, if come on over. If you see us at any of these events, come on over. Sometimes I'm confined to that table. I don't get out as much as I want.
I hear you. I hear you. They say it gets busy at them places. I've
Yeah.
never been to one yet. I need to get moving.
Oh, you'd have a good time. Now it's upstairs. The difference between this and the older version is they used to have talks downstairs, which you had more room. Now everyone's going to be in a room and you can fit about 80 some, so it's going to be crowded. We
Oh yeah.
hope, we hope, and we think. Okay.
I figure it would. I mean, like I said, you're right there. Ohio, Pennsylvania, West
Yep.
Virginia, right?
Yep.
You're right smack dab in the middle of it.
And we'll be doing Fred and I will be doing a presentation on all of the sightings that we've gotten. Like for there, we can redo some of the ones we did at Tomlinson because So
Yeah.
hopefully by then we have more to do from these other events.
Sound like you guys are going to be busy all summer and
Yeah,
fall
yeah,
and winter.
yeah. That's sometimes we're too busy. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you. I was glad that I got you on here when I did before you guys got too busy.
Oh, during the week, anytime, like during the week, I'm good. It's just usually weekends that we're.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad I finally got to meet you.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
the
I hope to
screen.
meet you in person.
Yeah, we will. We'll get something together. Hopefully, Les gets his one here in Morgantown done this year, and hopefully, I can meet you down there or something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think again, don't quote me. First or second week, there's so many different things that we're doing, and I know it's
I
one of those.
know you guys stay really busy.
Yeah, and feel free to anytime you want share anything we put out, and we'll share your podcast too. So
I appreciate it.
I know I shared this, so to hopefully you got
Right, right. Yeah, I seen you shared it. Yeah, yeah, awesome. I think let's see, Saturday I got another one. I got Midwest Night Watchers coming on,
cool.
so that'll be good. Gerald and Jane. So,
Cool.
but yeah, well, I appreciate it, Brian. You coming
Sure.
on
Thanks a lot. I had fun, man.
the show. You too. You guys have a good evening, and
Okay.
I hope to talk to you soon.
Okay. Take care.
Thanks a
Thanks
lot,
again.
Brian. Bye bye.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Well, everybody, that was Brian Seech. Go check his stuff out. They got some interesting, really interesting stuff going on. So, yeah, they're going to be at all them places he told you. I'll try to get the links off of him and put them in the description. I know this Saturday at 8, we got Midwest Night Watchers. And then the following Thursday, I have Amber from Amber's Para World. And then that following Saturday, I have Mr. Justin Decker. So stay tuned and keep your eyes looking around you there, see if you see any UFOs. Um, everybody have a good night. I appreciate everybody watching. Have a good evening.